it's quite important that you understand what news is impacting your currency, what's making it move. People make the same mistakes over and over again, and then the people with the big pockets will always win because they have the deeper pockets. They can always go into another position, whereas the retail trader doesn't have that luxury. You're not at least putting in a substantial amount of time to understand the game and to develop that edge, then I think the inevitable outcome is you're going to lose your money. Focus on maybe one pair, developing a really good sound understanding of one pair, how that pair moves. The crypto payout happened immediately, so that was great.
Okay, welcome back to another Funded Trader interview with FunderPro. My name is Tyler Davis, and I am here today with Bon. Bon, how are you doing today, man? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm doing great, Tyler. Yourself, bud?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be able to sit down and get to talk to you and pick your brain a little bit today.
Definitely.
So, first off, why don't we just start by telling the viewers a little bit about yourself, maybe a little bit about your background and how you discovered trading and started getting into it.
Yeah, sure, mate. So I got into the trading scene back in 2016, 17.
Okay.
I started really looking into the crypto side of things. I was quite interested in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and sort of in the inherent technology that they are been used as hedges with sort of the devaluation of the currencies around the world. From there, I kind of got into trading of altcoins, riding that bull market all the way to the top, and like a lot of people, rode it straight back down to the bottom. And then from there, I actually started going into the more traditional investing route, trading route. Went into Forex and stock trading. So like I know a lot of people went the other way, but I went from crypto and sort of like went risk down instead. Yeah, and then in the last 6 months, I've discovered the prop trading space
Mhm.
and have been quite deep in it. And yeah, I found FunderPro as well. So you guys are one of the prop firms that I'm trading at the moment. So yeah, that's kind of
Awesome.
the jump background.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So you've been in the game for a little while now. When you first got into cryptos and stuff, were you trading based off of technical analysis type of stuff that you had learned, or were you basically just kind of researching the hype on certain coins and kind of buying and selling that way?
Yeah, great question. When I first started, I was definitely more of a fundamental investor, I would say.
Mhm.
It was more buy and hold. But over time, I found that it wasn't probably the best strategy to just hold and to hodl, hold on for dear life, and just watch your coins depreciate.
Mhm.
Um, I think it's a better strategy to take profits when prices are at extreme levels and
Mhm.
to buy the dips on certain uptrends. So
Mhm.
I've sort of like changed my trading game in that sense. I think once I've got into trading altcoins, that's when I started really looking into technical analysis.
Mhm.
Um, I was trying to trade against Bitcoin. In saying that, I didn't find much success with that because I think similar to a lot of people trying to beat Bitcoin's performance
Mhm.
is very, very difficult. And
Mhm.
you can see what Bitcoin has done since 2016.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I've still found success with technical analysis in the prop trading space,
Mhm.
in the prop trading space right now, and I do use it for my trading. Yes.
Nice. So, would you say now that you use a combination of technical analysis along with fundamental analysis, or do you look just at the technicals now?
I would say I would say it's a combination of both, Tyler. Um, the prop trading game, kind of forces you to do that in a certain way because of the news trading rules.
Sure. Sure.
Excuse me.
Yeah. No worries. No worries. Yeah. Clear your throat. You're good.
Yeah, because of the news trading rules, you kind of have to be aware of what's happening
Sure.
around a certain currency in order to not break those rules. Sure, like during certain evaluations or challenges, you might not need to worry about that. But once you get to that funded stage, it's quite
Mhm.
important that you understand what news is impacting your currency, what's making it move,
Mhm.
what sessions really make your pair tick.
Mhm.
So that really sort of adds to the game.
Mhm.
Just gives you a more rounded understanding of why a currency is moving in a certain way. And then
Mhm.
when you pair that with technical analysis, it really gives you a more complete picture of what's happening on the chart and why is that instrument behaving that way.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I found that whether it's I believe it's probably the fundamentals that are the reason the market is moving, but it's funny. A lot of times the technicals will line up with give you signs of what the fundamentals are going to do kind of before they're released. It's funny how the chart sometimes will follow those technicals in combination with the fundamentals, but
Yeah, it's almost as though like whatever pattern or whatever trend is being painted on the chart, it's kind of an output of what is what's happening on the fundamental side of things. Um, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy in some ways. If
mhm.
you see like a I don't know, like a bull flag and you can see that the tip of that bull flag kind of lining up really nicely to a news event at the end of the week, you're like, okay, well, it's either going to break out up or down, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's probably going to wick to the other side to take out all the stop
yeah.
losses.
Runs and stops.
And then,
Yeah.
once you see that a few times, you're like, oh, like this just happens over and over again. Like
Mhm.
the same thing happens over and over again, and people make the same mistakes over and over again. And then the people with the big pockets will always win because they have the deeper pockets. They can always go into another position, whereas the retail trader doesn't have that luxury.
Sure.
And you see it happen over and over again. It's crazy.
Now, let's dive into your strategy a little bit more. So, after you kind of started with crypto and you started adding technical analysis, what do you say there's? Would you say there's a specific resource that you used, whether it was you took somebody's course, you found yourself a trading mentor, you have certain YouTube videos that you watched, certain books that you read? Is there any kind of resource of information that you found to be beneficial?
I spent a lot of time on I spent a lot of time on YouTube
Hmm.
since 2016, mate. Particularly in the crypto sort of boom of 2017, and yeah, I stayed up late every night just watching videos. I probably couldn't point to one particular channel because it's a culmination of many resources,
Hmm.
uh, and I found a lot of that knowledge and skill was transferable from crypto into traditional markets.
Sure.
Uh, if anything, I found it to be quite beneficial because crypto moves really, really quick. So
Hmm.
when I moved into Forex, it's like, oh, okay, things have slowed down a bit. I can actually, take my time with the strategy and watch things play out rather than, oh crap, like, a coin's moving like 40% in a day. You can't, I feel like you can't really do too much
Yeah.
technical in that, maybe on shorter time frames, but it's still, yeah, too hectic. Um, yeah, so it's difficult for me to point to one thing, mate, because it's been sort of built up over the years.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think most traders would say that they've taken a little bit of things they've learned from a bunch of different places and kind of made it work for them. Uh,
Yeah,
I
you know,
also agree on the crypto point you made about the when you move into forex, there's actually the fundamentals kind of backing the technicals, right? So like I think the technicals probably line up more than just like these crazy these crazy pumps in some of these altcoins and these crazy dumps that you see and stuff. Where the I'm sure once you moved to forex, things became a little bit more stable.
oh, definitely. You're not seeing like as many rug pulls.
Yeah,
You're not seeing like freaking 60 day so 60% corrections in a day. Like yeah, you don't see that in forex. It's definitely a lot more stable. And it allows you to sort of predict the markets a bit better that way.
Yeah. I would agree. So looking at your strategy a little bit further, I've heard you talk about currency pairs. What would you, if you were to describe your strategy, whether it's a specific pair or currency that you like to trade, if there, kind of time frames that you use, how you kind of break down your trades, what do you look for when you take a trade?
Yeah, sure. I mostly trade gold, USD, as well as CAD JPY. I found that gold, particularly gold, the level of volatility is quite suited to my strategy, and also the time frames that I trade, and sort of because I still have a day job at the moment, so I need to find a strategy that works around that in the times that I do have for trading. So I found particular success with gold in that sense because it moves quite fast during the day. In terms of time frames, the charts that I use, I start off on the 4 hourly, and then I zoom out to the daily and weekly, and then I zoom back in to the 30 minutes, 15 minutes charts for entries. So if I see like a good trend forming on the higher time frames, I'll then zoom right in to look at candlestick analysis for the right entries. So once I've established, the market structure, understand where the key support and resistance levels are, and I think that it's getting close to a level that is a good entry, then that's when I zoom in and find that right opportunity with the candlestick analysis.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So you use then the 15 or 30 minutes for your entries, it sounds like. And do you what kind of I guess risk to reward, and on average, how long would you say you'd like to hold your trades?
Well, I generally look for around a 3 to 1 risk to reward. And most of my trades close within the day because I don't want to incur the swap fees overnight. If not, then I generally do close the trade and I sort of fight another day tomorrow kind of thing. Yeah, and it's sort of again it works in around my trading cycles. I trade Monday to Friday. Right now I'm not trading crypto, so it's just Monday to Friday, and I trade around my day job. So normally I pop on the computer at lunchtime, trade a little bit, finish work, come home, have dinner, trade a little bit again, and that's my current routine at the moment.
Yeah. So you're in Australia. So what time is it for you right now?
It's 7:47 a.m.
7:47 a.m. Okay. All right. So it's 4:47 p.m. here. So yeah, we're trading on different sides of the world right there. The different clocks. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why I find trading really interesting because the markets open and close different times of the day for us, and depending on where you are in the world, that might have a big impact on when it is best for you to trade. And at the same time, I don't think that one should sacrifice everything else for trading, because what's the point? Like if you have to wake up at 1 a.m. to trade until 5 a.m., like that's just going to ruin your life. So I feel like you have to find a way that works in with your daily schedule without compromising too much, and just take what you can kind of thing. For me, like I find that I wake up, I go to work. The Asian market opens, at sometime in the morning, and then the London time opens late in the afternoon, and then the New York time opens later at night. So normally that's about 10 p.m. my time. So that's just on the cusp of when I need to go to bed. Like I might put in trades and just let it run for the night and try to think about it. Yeah.
That's an interesting schedule. So you're kind of getting gold moves pretty decent, I feel like, during the London session. So you're kind of getting that London session volume that's coming in during your lunch when you're able to get some trading in, and then you can kind of get that little pre-New York or early New York volume as well. So
that's right. That's right. So the way I see it is, it's almost like I have two opportunities to read the setup. And one thing I've observed is that prices seem to set up for the next trading session. So for whatever reason, when one trading session is about to not close, but like when the next session is about to open, there seems to be a particular setup designed for the next trading session to just go, oh, it makes logical sense to go this way. So I've been trying to play that the last month, and I've found some success with it. But yeah, it's just an interesting observation that I had.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's the way to do it. And like how you explained before, you find out what works for you. If you have to wake up at 1 a.m. to trade, like really, we're all getting into trading, at least majority of us, for the freedom that it can potentially provide, right? So maybe I'm sure there's some sacrifice that people need to make in their journeys, to make it work between their family lives and their work life and their personal life. And yeah, you're going to have to make some sacrifices there, but you also need to be mentally sharp for trading. You know what I mean? You don't want to burn yourself out. So I think traders need to find that balance of what works for them and their routine and their life and their schedule, and try to make trading work for them in that sense. So
no, I definitely agree, and I think that's probably an understated issue, that mental side of things and the fatigue, and especially like once you have developed a profitable strategy, you might immediately think, oh, if I trade more, then I'll earn more. Right? It's just it's a linear thing, but it really isn't, because you're not factoring in your human side of things. You're not factoring your fatigue and your emotional stress, and then the other areas of your life that might be affected because you're not functioning at 100%. And on top of that, it might actually affect your trading game when you're not getting enough sleep. You're probably going to make mistakes, and I've done that personally, and like I've clicked the wrong buttons. I've done yeah, and you could easily lose hundreds or thousands just from a simple mistake, because you're not operating at the top of your game. And I've personally learned that lesson, and I'm trying to actively address it as a priority. That sleep is important, my mental health is important, because that will affect the success of my trading game.
I think that's a really good point. I've made those silly mistakes when not well rested. For example, trading in the futures market. Like I had the lot size, or the order size as 1, and I clicked on it to try to change it to 3, but wasn't paying attention. I actually put in 31, and so next thing you know, I'm opening a trade with 31 contracts instead of 3, like I wanted, right? So those little silly mistakes that are really simple things. It's like typing into a quantity box. You've done it a million times, but if you're not mentally sharp, you can make those little mistakes, and they can cost you.
Exactly. Like I think last week I made a mistake. I thought I was trading KJPY, and my chart was on gold, and my lot size was way too high.
It's different for the two.
I was like, why is my my loss so big in like 5 minutes? I was like, oh my god. So yeah, big lesson there.
Yeah, it's funny too when you do silly stuff like that too. Then comes in the human emotion of greed, where it's like, oh, I just opened a position with 31 contracts. Maybe if I hold it for a little, this will go in my favor, and I can make a lot more. And it never seems to work that way. But that's
yeah.
we've probably all been there at some point.
We've all been there.
That's funny. So that's a good segue into my next question for you. Is what do you think is more important, having a trading edge, knowing your trading edge, or the psychology and emotional part of trading? Which one would you weigh heavier with, if you could say one or the other?
I think having a trading edge is probably a little bit more important, because you could have all the motivation and psychology mindset, but if you're not putting in the work to develop an edge, you're just going to end up being unprofitable, because you might be focusing on the wrong things. and not understanding what's actually happening in the market. I'm not saying I understand everything that happens in the market.
Sure.
It's obvious the market's very, very complex, and there's a lot of players, there's a lot of things happening. And the more time you spend to understand and unravel that, to understand why things happen, and then to develop a strategy around that, I think that's probably more important than just thinking you can do anything, right? Because I was ultimately like, trading is like a zero-sum game. You've got people who are on the other side who are paid a lot of money and have a lot of time sitting there, and their job is to win your money. You're up against that. So if you're not at least putting in, a substantial amount of time to understand the game and to develop that edge, then I think the inevitable outcome is you're going to lose your money. That's just
well said.
Thought. It's
Yeah, I obviously saw psychology is preached a lot on social media and people talk about it a lot, and rightfully so, because obviously trading brings out these things in all of us that we have all dealt with. But having a really good trading edge can help alleviate a lot of the psychology issues that come. You know what I mean? If you have a really good edge, you don't have to stress that much.
Yeah, I don't know. Like a lot of times I see just like people on social media, it's almost like a buzzword, psychology mindset. Like, but then when they start, but then I don't really see anything substantial from what they're talking about in terms of strategy. Like, it's almost like people keep it to themselves, and then they just throw out the buzzword just for that social media hit, or that YouTube headline kind of thing. It's maybe it's part of the game. I don't know.
No, that's a very good point. It's definitely one of the trading buzzwords. 100%. So just a couple more questions for you. I won't keep you too long. I'll let you get to your day here. But if you could go back to kind of the beginning of your trading career, and you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what do you think you'd tell yourself?
Specifically for me, it's been very okay. Specifically for myself, I would say don't trade Bitcoin. Just buy and hold. But in terms of trading wise, I would say focus on maybe one pair, developing a really good sound understanding of one pair, how that pair moves, what makes it tick, and develop an edge with one pair first before chasing everything that is shiny. I think when you first get into this space, it's very easy to be distracted by many things happening, many markets, many instruments, many trading platforms, many prop firms. But yeah, I think focus on doing a small amount of things really well first, and then start to spread your wings gradually. I think we've all been in that position where you've been attracted or you've been distracted, and you think you're chasing a good opportunity, but it turns out to be the other way. So I think having patience with the start of the journey in particular is really, really important.
Awesome, man. I think that's a great piece of advice. So I appreciate that. I'm sure the viewers will get a lot out of that. And this whole conversation, I think, has been really good. So I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me today. And before I let you go, I just kind of want to ask you about your FunderPro experience. I know one thing you did mention earlier about the news and swing trading. So we do offer a swing trade account, by the way, for anybody who does want to hold through those news things. It's still important, I think, for people to be aware of them, because you could get some volatile movement in one way or the other. But I think that is an important thing for people to pay attention to. But back to my original question, just give me a little bit about your experience with FunderPro and what your thoughts and what that's been like.
Yeah, look, I think what attracted me to FunderPro initially was the daily payouts. So you could achieve a profit, and you can request a withdraw on the platform on the day. So I thought that was very, very appealing, because most prop firms, you might either be able to withdraw, 7 days with an add-on, or 14 days. So that was quite a unique offer that FunderPro had. I think I started off with a just a normal account. It wasn't a swing account. That I eventually got it to. Actually, no, it's still ongoing. Actually, it's in phase 2 challenge right now. I'm trying to get it to funded stage. However, I did get a swing account to the funded stage, and I did get a couple of payouts on there. So that was pretty good. And yeah, this having a swing account where you don't have to worry about the news is fantastic. The crypto payout happened immediately, so that was great. However, the rise payout took a little bit longer, as in it took about, I think, 2.5 weeks to process.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm not sure why, but I did speak with a few people on the Discord channel, and that seems to be the case. So I'll probably stick to crypto payout moving forward. But yeah, overall, my experience with FunderPro was quite positive. I also got to experience trading on a new platform, Trade Locker. So and that the interfaces for that one is really, really good as well. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, that's great to hear. Like I said, I really appreciate you taking the time out to chat with me today. I think it's a valuable conversation that traders can learn a lot from, and I look forward to being able to do this again someday with you.
Awesome. Thanks, Tyler. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you, Bon. Enjoy the rest of your day, man. Have a good one.
See you, mate.
Bye-bye.